When I told my dad about you, his eyes softened in a way I rarely see, as though he had been waiting for this moment. He listened quietly, without interrupting, and when I was done, he let out a long breath that seemed to carry years of his own memories. He said, "Love is never something we can measure by what others think. It is something we feel so deeply, it shapes us." He told me that if you are the one who makes me look at the world differently, if you are the one who fills my quiet moments with warmth, then nothing else matters. My dad's words felt like a blessing, as if he was passing the torch of his wisdom to me, telling me to hold on to what is real. He told me not to let fear ruin something so rare. He said, "If she holds your heart, then fight for her, because a love like that doesn't come twice." Dad smiled when he heard your name, almost as if he already knew you in some invisible way. He asked me about you, your favorite things, the way you laugh, what makes you cry, and I found myself talking about you for what felt like hours. Every little detail spilled out of me like water rushing from a full glass. My dad listened to everything, nodding as though each word mattered. Then he said something I will never forget. "If she inspires you to speak like this, she's already a part of you." I think that's when I knew with complete certainty that you were the one I was meant to share my life with. My father doesn't give away words like that easily, but he gave them freely that day. He reminded me that love is not about perfection, but about connection, and he told me he could hear the connection in my voice. When I read him your message, he closed his eyes, almost like he was imagining you standing there with us. He said your words were honest, beautiful, and brave, braver than most people dare to be. He said it takes courage to write from the heart, and that courage should be honored. I think he saw a reflection of the love he once had with my mother, the kind that is raw and unfiltered, the kind that makes two people risk their pride just to be close. He told me to keep that message, to save it somewhere safe, because one day we will look back on it and realize it was the beginning of something that changed us both forever. He called it the seed of our story, the first chapter of a book we will write together. His faith in us made my own faith grow stronger. Dad said that love is about showing up even when it's inconvenient, even when the world tells you it's complicated. He told me that there will be days when love feels easy, like breathing, and other days when it feels heavy, like carrying the sky. But both days matter, both are part of the story. He said that when someone writes you a message like the one you wrote, it means they have handed you a piece of their soul, and you must hold it gently, never letting carelessness bruise it. He told me to answer your message, not just with words, but with actions. Small, consistent, meaningful acts that prove I meant every promise I ever made to you. His words made me realize that love is not something you speak once, but something you live every day. He reminded me that he too was young once, that he remembers what it was like to love someone so much it kept him awake at night. He told me that real love is supposed to keep you awake sometimes, that it's supposed to make your heart restless until it finds peace in the other person's presence. He said, if you are the one who gives me that peace, then I should do everything I can to keep that light burning. My dad isn't one to talk about feelings often, but that night he told me about the letter my mother once wrote him when they were young, how it changed the course of his life. He said he felt the same power in your message, that same quiet electricity that tells you destiny is at work. Hearing that from him made me want you even more. Dad's response wasn't just words. It was a kind of reassurance that settled in my chest. He said that love is always a risk, but so is not loving. He told me that choosing not to love because of fear is like refusing to breathe because air might hurt your lungs. He reminded me that pain is part of the deal, but so is joy, and the joy outweighs everything, if you let it. He said that when he looked at me, he could tell that your message had changed me, softened me, made me more alive. Hold on to that, he said, because not everyone gets the chance to feel what you're feeling right now. He told me that when you find someone who makes you want to be better, you don't let them go. When I asked him if he thought we were moving too fast, he shook his head and said, the heart doesn't know time the way the clock does. He said some loves take years to grow, and others arrive like lightning, setting the whole sky on fire in a single strike. He told me that what matters isn't how long you've known each other, but how deeply you are willing to know each other from this point forward. He reminded me that every great love story is made up of ordinary days filled with extraordinary choices. He said, if I am ready to choose you every day, then we are exactly where we are meant to be. His calm confidence made me stop doubting and start believing that maybe, just maybe, this is the kind of love that changes everything. Dad's voice grew soft when he told me not to take your heart for granted. He said that a message like yours is a gift, and gifts deserve gratitude. He said I should thank you not just with a reply, but with the way I show up for you in the days to come. He reminded me that words are powerful, but they are only the beginning, that love is proven in the way you stay, in the way you choose someone, even when it would be easier to walk away. His advice made me realize that your message wasn't just a message, it was an invitation, a door you opened, waiting to see if I would step through. And I am stepping through, love, because there is nowhere else I'd rather be. He asked me what I planned to say to you in return, and I found myself smiling because I realized my answer wasn't just something I wanted to say, it was something I wanted to live. I told him I wanted to tell you that you are the most beautiful part of my story, that your words touched places in me I didn't know needed light. I told him I wanted to tell you that I am ready to be brave, ready to love you in ways that will make you feel safe and celebrate. My dad nodded and said, then say it, don't wait. Life is too short to keep love a secret. That night I began writing back to you, and every word felt like a step closer to where we are meant to be. Dad said that love is the greatest teacher. It teaches you patience, humility, forgiveness, and joy. He told me that if we are willing to learn from each other, our love will keep growing. He said mistakes will happen, but what matters is how we hold on to each other through them. He reminded me that even the strongest hearts need reassurance sometimes, and that I should never let a day pass without reminding you that you are loved. His words settled deep into me, planting a resolve I didn't have before. Your message was more than just words on a screen. It was a key unlocking a future I now can't imagine without you in it. Dad told me one last thing before we said goodnight. He said if she's the one, you'll know not just because she makes you happy, but because she makes you whole. And I knew in that moment that he was right. You do make me whole. Your message reminded me of the person I want to be, the person I am when I'm with you. And that is the version of myself I want to live in every day. Dad's response gave me courage, but your message gave me purpose. Together they made me sure of what I want, what I've always wanted, you, just you. So here I am writing this to you, letting you know exactly how Dad responded to your message, and how it changed everything. His words were not just approval but encouragement. A quiet nod that said, go love her with everything you have, and that is what I intend to do. You deserve a love that is steady, that is certain, that shows up even on the hardest days. And I want to be that love. Your message started this, but it will not end here. I am answering you not just with these words, but with a lifetime of devotion. And I hope when you read this, you'll know my heart has chosen you completely.